Imagine waking up to a sky so dark that noon looks exactly like midnight. A deadly invisible poison is slowly filling your entire town, choking your family. Welcome to Donora, Pennsylvania. The year is 1948. It is a booming steel town where hardworking families build lives around the roaring local factories. Massive steel mills and zinc plants burn white hot day and night. Thick, heavy smoke constantly pours from giant brick chimneys, painting the valley sky gray. For the folks living here, that dark smoke is a beautiful sight. It means steady paychecks, secure jobs, and plenty of warm food on the table. Everyone in this tight community is totally used to the dirty, dusty air. It is simply an accepted part of daily life in an American town. Housewives sweep dark, heavy soot off their wooden porches every single morning. Kids play tag in the streets while thick ash gently falls on their shoulders. But late October brings a very strange, sudden change in the weather. A massive invisible dome of trapped air quickly covers the entire river valley above. A thick blanket of warm air tightly seals the freezing cold air below it. The strong autumn wind completely stops blowing through the busy town overnight. The heavy, dark smoke from the tall factory chimneys has nowhere to go. It just hangs heavily in the dead sky, completely blocked by the warm air. Day by day, the dark, toxic smoke gets thicker and much more dangerous. The valley quickly fills up like a dirty, sealed fishbowl full of black poison. A nasty, sickly yellow fog slowly creeps into the busy town streets. It smells strongly of rotten eggs, dangerous chemicals, and heavily burning dirty coal dust. You can actually taste the sharp, bitter metal right in the dead air. People start wiping thick, black grease from their faces as they walk around. Soon, the bright, warm morning sun completely disappears from view. By the time noon finally arrives, the daytime sky looks exactly like the middle of the night. Streetlights are kept on all day long just to help people see. Cars must drive very slowly with bright headlights shining forward into the thick gloom. Even with bright headlights, confused drivers cannot see the road ahead. Some brave people have to walk along the car bumpers to guide the lost drivers. The toxic fog is so incredibly thick and heavy that you literally cannot see your own two hands when you hold them right in front of you. It is Halloween time, but there is absolutely no joy here today. The spooky dark fog makes the entire town feel truly terrifying and incredibly unsafe. Excited kids try to go out in their fun Halloween costumes anyway, but they easily get lost just trying to cross the streets safely in the dark. People start coughing loudly all over the dark town. A dry hacking sound echoes through the empty streets and bounces off the small brick family houses. The stubborn factory bosses flatly refuse to shut down the huge metal plants. The toxic, dirty smoke just keeps pouring right out into the trapped dead air. The local high school football game goes on exactly as planned. Dedicated fans pack the wooden bleachers despite the awful, choking smell and the pitch black fog. The poor football players cannot even see the ball flying in the air. The confused referees cannot see the fast players running on the dark field. The unseen crowd sounds like ghosts cheering loudly in the dark mist. Everyone breathes in the thick, deadly poison gas with every single deep breath they take. By early Sunday morning, the town is in serious, life-threatening trouble. The dry hacking coughs quickly turn into painful, desperate gasps for one single breath of air. Older folks and people with weak, sick lungs fall very ill. They sit frozen in their living room chairs, struggling deeply and fighting hard for their lives. The local town doctors are completely overwhelmed by the terrible, sudden crisis. Their phones ring non-stop with panicked calls from terrified family members begging for help. 8 tired doctors work around the clock without getting any sleep. They rush from house to house in the dark, choking smog to save sick, dying people. They quickly give sharp shots of adrenaline to help open tight, closed airways, but their small medical bags are emptying fast and absolutely no new supplies arrive. The local fire department is fully called into the frantic, scary night. Brave firemen grab heavy metal oxygen tanks from the quiet fire station and rush out. Firemen feel their way blindly through the pitch-black, highly dangerous streets. They carry life-saving oxygen to dying people who simply cannot breathe the toxic, dirty air anymore. They find sick, weak people slumped over on their wooden front porches. The poor victims are completely desperate for a tiny breath of fresh, clean air. Heavy fire trucks slowly creep through the dense, thick yellow gloom. They use bright red spotlights to find their slow way around the totally blind, scary, dark streets. Soon, the entire town completely runs out of fresh, bottled oxygen. The brave firemen have absolutely nothing left to give to the terrified, sick, and dying people. Desperate people try strange home remedies to help their burning tight lungs. They tightly tie wet, dirty bags around their faces to block the terrible, choking smoke. Some worried families hide deep down in their damp, dark brick basements. They blindly hope the heavy toxic smoke stays high up above them in the sky. But the heavy toxic gas finds its sneaky way inside every tiny crack. There was simply no safe place left to hide from the deadly yellow storm. The small local hospitals are packed completely full of very sick patients. Sick people are lying on the hard floors of the dark, crowded hospital hallways everywhere. Scared nurses work wildly to save the heavily choking victims. The awful sound of deep, painful coughing is loud, terrifying, and truly endless in every single room. Then the grim and awful death toll finally starts to truly rise. The very first poor victim sadly stops breathing completely early on a terrifying Saturday morning. More sick people quietly pass away as the terrible dark weekend continues. The sad, quiet funeral homes quickly and sadly run out of wooden caskets for families. Word of the awful, deadly disaster finally reaches the entire outside world. Big radio stations quickly broadcast the shocking, terrible news to everyone listening across the country. Surrounding towns bravely try to send emergency medical supplies over very quickly, but the incredibly thick fog totally blocks the winding, narrow, and highly dangerous mountain roads. Supply trucks carrying fresh oxygen tanks are hopelessly stuck on the busy highway. The poor town of Donora is totally cut off from the entire outside world. Inside the dark town, deep, scary panic begins to slowly take hold everywhere. People seriously wonder if they will ever see bright daylight shine down on them. The large zinc plant finally agrees to completely shut down its hot ovens, but the heavy, awful damage to the sick town air is already fully done. Monday morning brings absolutely no happy relief to the completely exhausted people. The sky is still an ugly, dark, muddy brown color from the thick, endless smoke. By now, thousands of previously strong residents are violently sick in bed. Almost half the entire town is heavily struggling to just breathe the awful poison air. The worried mayor begs the state government for very quick direct help. He asks them to immediately send more fresh oxygen and many more trained doctors over. Then, on Tuesday afternoon, a beautiful small miracle finally happens at last. The warm temperature suddenly drops and a nice light drizzle gently begins falling from above. The clean, heavy rain finally washes the thick, dark soot right out. The awful yellow fog finally begins to break apart into tiny, harmless, and clear pieces. A cool, very fresh breeze sweeps down the winding river valley perfectly. It strongly pushes the deadly toxic cloud far, far away from the sick, tired town. For the very first time in 5 long days, bright sunlight appears. The happy townspeople walk outside and take a deep, completely clean, incredibly fresh breath of air. But the final sad cost to the small factory town is truly terrible. 20 totally innocent people are sadly dead from breathing the awful heavy poison air. Thousands more will have badly damaged, weak lungs forever and ever. Their quiet lives are permanently changed by the dark tale of a weekend in the Smoky Valley. The shocking news from Donora spreads extremely fast across the whole country. It heavily sparks a huge new public health safety movement demanding clean air for everyone. Years later, this deep tragedy leads to highly important new safety rules. The famous Clean Air Act is officially born from Donora's very sad and unforgettable pain.